Happy
Good morning, beautiful people.
Happy Monday. We have missed you. We have so much to talk about. So much is happening. It's been a wild week of all things ministry. Andrew, your wife is hanging right outside these doors.
My wife is... I can't see her. I can see her if I look in the reflection of these doors over here. She is girl timing, mom talking. I don't know.
Andrew, you're Disneying. Frank's planting a church. I was doing morning weddings.
Morning weddings. Not like grief weddings, but morning as in the time of day.
A wedding in the morning, early a.m.
You didn't even wear a tie.
Probably should have. I was kind of underdressed.
You did a wedding where you didn't wear a tie. I
don't do a lot of outdoor weddings in ties. I've done a lot of outdoor weddings, and very few of them have required a tie.
We can get into this, but Tim, there's a rule. You want to be one step dressed higher than the congregation, one step below the groom. If the groom's in a tux, you're in a suit and tie. If the groom is in a suit and tie, then you cannot wear a tie. But was the groom in a tux?
He was tux.
You need a tie.
I missed the mark on this one.
Listen, Tim, I'm ashamed of you.
Forgive me.
But that doesn't mean that yesterday was not Sunday, because as it turns out, yesterday was Sunday.
And this, Frankie, right here,
is the morning after.
Welcome to the Morning After Ministry Show, a caffeine-fueled look back on the week and ministry that was.
Well, welcome back to yet another riveting episode of the Morning After Ministry Show, where Andrew tells Tim all the things he probably should be doing better. And he's not wrong. I felt bad. Steph and I pulled into the wedding on Saturday morning, and I was like, oh, I should have busted out the black suit. Like, I had it there, and then I thought, I'm at a barn. It's outside. I think it needs to be like somewhat Western-y because it's an outdoor barn-ish wedding.
It's not a Western-style barn.
I mean, there were horses.
Well, yeah, but it's...
like right next to me.
It's the barn at Crescent Lake.
That's what I'm saying. There's actual animals. Like, it doesn't get more barn-like.
Do you know where he was for this wedding? Have you seen it?
I have no clue where he was.
It's up in Odessa.
It's 4 minutes from my house.
And every time I am there, I think Lakeview needs to get a couple truckloads of crushed shells and create a wedding venue outside on the lake. You could do an outdoor Vesper service there, which would be beautiful, and just have a go-to wedding venue.
So, Andrew, I don't know what your averages are looking like right now, but it is working out to me. I think I'm going to be averaging 1 to 2 weddings per month this year, that's a lot.
It's a lot of weddings.
I'm not used to that ever.
I've done 2 weddings this year, and I don't have any on the calendar.
Oh, I've got more, and I got contacted last night for another one.
Well,
so they're not slowing down. Turns out people at Lakeview really like to get married.
I think our church demographics are a little bit different.
I went from, 2 to 3 years was awesome to like, okay, I might need to back off on my commitment level a little bit. I don't know that I can handle, unless I will say this. Here's the caveat.
But how do you say no to somebody from your church?
That you
How
love?
do you say no to this?
That's from Hamilton. That was
the context
different.
is not good.
But
he had an affair.
Andrew,
He
Frank,
was a founding father.
Hear me
should have
out.
known better.
I met with some of our young adults yesterday and said, guys, I've got the best advice for you. I know none of you are in a serious relationship, but down the road, when you're thinking marriage, I am a big fan of 10 a.m. weddings.
Oh.
I'm just telling you. I wasn't sure. I've done 11 a.m., 10 a.m. This is the earliest wedding I've ever done. I didn't know what to expect. However, I will say they didn't want me there till 9:30, which was awesome. So I didn't have to get there that early. And then the food afterwards was a brunch. So we had the omelet station. We had some great cuts of meat. We had breakfast potatoes. I mean, I'm loving the meal. I'm loving the time of the day. And we were eating cake by 12:30. So that means
I was like a great day. You're home by
Andy.
1:30 or 2.
I was home by 1:15.
Ooh.
When in your ministry careers, when
Has
you're doing a wedding,
not taken up an entire day?
the wedding rehearsal
This was a college football weekend, and USF was playing at 7:30, so you didn't have to miss any of your.
Andrew, we do field trip.
Wow.
We do field trip Fridays in my house with my 2 younger girls because they're homeschooled. And I said, hey, can you wait till Dad's done with his wedding rehearsal because it's an 11 a.m. rehearsal. So I had an 11 a.m. rehearsal. I was home by noon. Then we had a 10 a.m. wedding. I'm home by 1:30. I still had the rest of my Saturday.
They had a wedding in the morning, but they also had the rehearsal in the morning
Yes.
too. They like purposely did that. That's interesting.
Isn't that great?
That's cool.
It was awesome. I mean, huge shout out to Alexis and Matt. You guys nailed it. You have set the standard.
Was there rehearsal lunch too?
Nope.
No meal?
No meal. Got out, got to hang with my fam.
Kind of a dream right there.
I'm like, wow. They got it right, so I'm going to recommend.
Don't you hate it when couplers are like, hey, you know, as part of like our thank you, like we would love for you to be able to like bring your wife to this. Now, like some weddings, like you, like this is one that it was 5 minutes from your house. It was not a whole day thing, but
Yeah.
and I get it because we were very naive when Melissa and I got married at
Sure.
12 and 13.
Yep.
But it took up an entire weekend, and we got married December 17th.
Oh, gosh.
So hey, everybody, the weekend before Christmas.
How dare
we
you.
Know that
I would have
you
been so mad at you.
We know that you would love to spend 6 hours with us on Friday night, and then a 10-hour day on Saturday celebrating our love in your last
Which,
week.
honestly, sometimes that's what a wedding is.
I know. Well, that's how our wedding was. And now I'm just like, we were so obnoxious, and I am so sorry because now I get it. It was like, man, if I could get in and out in 2.5, 3 hours for a wedding, that's the. I'm busy. I got 17 kids at home. And so this
I'm
wedding
aware.
sounds fantastic for you. I love a breakfast wedding.
I'm a big fan. I mean, have you guys had some good wedding experiences lately? I mean, I don't know that I'm going to have one that tops this. I love a good wedding. I've done a lot of great weddings, and I'm thrilled about a few that are coming up in the not too distant future. But man, talk about setting the bar high. 10 a.m. brunch, home by 1 in time for college football, family, and
The Cross and Crown lunch team meeting.
startup party. They called it a startup party. He said, Tim, don't you call this a launch meeting. I said, you got it, Frank, whatever you need to call it. He said, startup party. That's what the stats show I have to call it. They get that.
Listen, he would be great managing a Moneyball type of baseball team because he goes by the analytics. Whatever the analytics say,
Do it.
Frank is going to do.
Yeah.
So I was there. It was fantastic. Tim texted me and said, hey, Andrew, you should probably come to this. To which I said, yeah, but the game that I care about watching is on at 3:30. And I like Frank. I don't love him that much, though. And yet, at about 4:15, I thought, you know what? I'm going to get up. I'm going to take a shower.
My text message worked.
And
I didn't know if it would work.
And I said, he's right. It's the kind of friend I am.
It is.
We, first of all, even if I didn't like Cross and Crown, I love Frank.
You don't have to like Cross and Crown.
And so because I love Frank, I should be there for this moment. But I also love Cross and Crown, so I really should. So I got up, I came, and I was so glad that I did. Also, as someone who is not, I don't worship at Lakeview, I don't get like hey, here's what we're doing, here's this thing happening Saturday night. I didn't know how long the event was going to be. I was like, ooh, is this going to be like a multiple hour commitment of my Saturday
I don't know
night?
that you had did you have an
Pause,
ending
pause.
time?
I think the door's locked.
No, it's unlocked.
She can come on in. She can come on. She's gonna be a guest on today's show.
Hey,
She's leaving. She's running away.
she's going to. Hang on, my wife is coming in.
She needs to be a guest on today's show.
Well, yeah, we had the startup party. It was a blast, and I think we're about to have a guest on the show. Hold on.
Melissa, we're on right now. Why don't you join us?
This is good TV.
Come say hello. Everyone's gonna want to see
Come on.
this.
The fans are wanting.
They're like, "Is that Melissa?" We're like, "Yeah, she's here."
I hear it. Come on.
No one can see you, Melissa, nor can they. You got to come on this side of the
right here.
camera.
Sit down. Tim and I want to interview you.
No, this is a live interview. This just turned into a live
is what the
interview.
people want.
Andrew, you can actually sit
Andrew,
there. Nobody
sit-
cares about you
yeah.
anymore.
I was just trying to say hi.
Yeah.
I did not mean to interrupt.
No,
You
yeah.
really,
Talking to the
really
microphone
said.
and let us know.
Okay.
Melissa, welcome to the show. First of all, how was Disney?
It was good.
Okay, what park did you go to? This is what the people want.
No, they don't. You have to get into the microphone. Okay. They don't want. Okay, Epcot. We went to Epcot.
Okay, with the boys.
Yes.
Did you see a little
food
Hanson?
and wine?
Food
Did
and
you,
wine.
did you eat
Yes.
food? Did you
Yes.
drink wine?
No.
Did you mbop?
Yes.
Did Hanson mbop?
They did mbop this time.
I don't know what else you could have asked for.
It was good.
Did your kids like mbop? Like, did your kids?
They kind of like it. They didn't go. So
Okay, good.
It was Andrew got me in line and then he took them to go get food.
Wait, you mbopped by yourself?
I did.
Wow.
The storm.
He's blaming it on the storm?
I mean, kind of. Well, it was the
Wow.
storm / they just went and got food, and I don't know. I was
So,
fine.
so
Andrew.
the Larson family went to Epcot. Epcot has a series right now where there's different bands. They're performing during Food and Wine Festival.
You got to back up. Andrew and Melissa do this date night every year. They go see Hanson. They umbot together. And this year, Andrew decides to break the tradition. He sends Melissa off on her own. Maybe this was a gift to you, though.
I was fine.
You didn't have to be near him.
Okay, no,
You didn't have to be near the boys. You got to just kind of enjoy yourself. So this was a gift from your husband.
It was fine. It just kind of worked out. They wanted filet mignon. They
I know where that
they
is.
wanted,
I know where
they
that is.
wanted
That's a
to
good
go to
pavilion.
Canada.
I know exactly where he went.
That's a good. That was a good choice. Yeah.
So they just
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to the second show and it got canceled because the storm came through at that time. So then I met them at the Regal Eagle, and then we.
And Hanson went on at what time? 6?
It was
7?
8.
6:45, and 8.
Yes. So I went to the 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
I love everything about it. Melissa, we saw you walking the streets earlier today.
Yes.
We wanted to make sure you were okay. You were meeting someone.
Yes.
The meeting is over,
The meeting is over.
and you survived.
I survived.
People
And they-
just tuning in are like, Andrew looks way different.
Coming soon, we're going to have a Live with the Wives episode. We got to bring it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
It won't be us three. It will be our 3 wives.
Okay. That sounds good.
Melissa, thank you for entertaining us.
You're welcome. I'm sorry.
Anytime.
This is great.
Melissa,
I
you
didn't
are
mean to-
always invited.
I saw the practice. I was like, well, I don't know
Nope.
if they're.
You're in.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt.
You are
No apologies.
always
You just made our
invited.
show better.
Oh no.
This is
You
great.
do.
No.
You really do.
That's my wife.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Melissa.
We've been married for a lot of years.
So you're allowed to send her off to a concert by herself.
It was so we were trying to get to the middle concert. If you've ever done Candlelight Processional or one of the concerts, either at Food and Wine or
Oh, I'm aware.
what's the Flower and Garden, the Garden Rocks concert series, you know that you have to get in line for it. We had boys that were hungry, and so
It's
the
a
plan
thing.
was to get her in line to make sure that she got a seat, and then we would try to get the boys situated, and then I was going to come and join her because we've got kids that are teenagers now. She's not comfortable sending them off on their own, but I am very comfortable sending them off on their own. So I figured once she was in the concert pavilion,
Wow.
I
Melissa,
could
do
be
you know
like, all
about
right,
this?
boys,
Oh
go,
my
go to
gosh.
Japan, go do your thing.
Wow.
Yes, the teenagers went to Japan,
Okay.
and then the younger two went to Canada with me because the younger two wanted the filet mignon.
Nice. Well,
But here's the thing:
I'm okay with it.
we have been pass holders at Disney since Tim and I got our first real DYM check. It was a great check.
It's a great check.
It was
Haven't seen that in a long time.
fantastic. And so we've been pass holders for more than a decade for most of the boys' lives.
Yep.
And it looks as though our pass holder time is coming to an end. We just don't have time to go over as much anymore. The kids are busier. Disney's
Oh, by
more
the way,
expensive.
we've jacked up the rates.
And oh, by the way, it's $800 per person per year, and there's 6 of us.
Yeah.
So there's that. And yet, for the very first time ever, my boys cared about the food at Epcot yesterday. Like they
It's
had
okay.
they had like the
it gets
passport-
very expensive
Yeah,
when
but-
you have a
but that's-
times 6 multiplier and
yes,
it's not just you
but
and your
that's
wife
the
anymore.
thing when it's
Mine's a times 7.
but when you are at Epcot, it's like it's the small plates. So it's $10 a plate or $8 a plate,
Yep.
depending on what you're getting, instead of $15 for a kids meal. So it worked out well.
Wait, your boys only ate 1 small plate?
The younger two had a filet mignon and mashed potatoes. The older
That would have been a good snack.
the number 2, Liam, had everything he possibly could. He
Yep.
had a lobster roll. He had a flight of French fries from the different types of fries. And he had, what was the thing from Australia? We had shrimp and a pavlova, which we didn't know what it was except for because of an episode of Bluey. So we did the around the world food thing, and
Nothing wrong with
Melissa got to listen to Hanson, and they actually played Mbop, which they don't always do.
I'm glad.
And
they
we
did.
saw multiple people wearing the same Hanson T-shirt she was wearing. It's a picture
Sorry,
of the
Mel.
Hanson brothers, and it says Nirvana because they all have long blonde hair, and they all kind of look Kurt Cobain-like.
They do.
It was very exciting, and it was a good Disney day.
Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed your weekend. I was,
That's the one. That is the shirt, Frank.
Frank, I don't know if you know this, but I was a little bit torn this week and actually had to call in some pastoral advice from my buddy Andrew. I called my lead elder. I brought my wife in on the discussion. Here was the dilemma I was in. I wanted to be at the Cross and Crown startup party.
You did.
I so desperately wanted to be at the Cross and Crown startup party. However, my son's football game got moved to the exact time of said Cross and Crown. Like the whole reason we planned this thing was around the schedule. It was going to work out just fine. The game was at 7. Cross and Crown party ends at 6. No big deal. I was going to get there. 2 days before, they decide, no, we're changing the game time, which I can't control. Right? We can't. We've already set everything on the calendar. Everything's happening. I'm calling lead elder. I'm calling Andrew. I'm talking to my wife. They're all telling me the exact same thing. Tim, why? Like, this isn't that big of a deal. I'm like, but to me, it is. Like I so love Frank and Corey. I fully support all things Cross and Crown. I want to make sure Lakeview knows that this has got Tim Miller's full and complete blessing. Every person there, you don't need to meet with me and say, hey, is it okay if I go? You already have been given permission to go. So
Also, you really don't need permission. You can just go.
that's what we said. But you know how it is.
Yes.
I have been getting many, many calls of, hey, we need to meet and talk. Like, no, we don't. Like, you're good. I love you. You've already been given the blessing. So I said, Steph, can you go to Cross and Crown in my stead? Because my dad was out of town. Normally he would be at my son's game. So I go to my son's game. Within 4 minutes, they are up by 24 points. They pull all of the starters out, one of which was my son. And I thought, I am 8 minutes from the church. I can do this. So I zip over from the football field at an area church over to Lakeview Church, where I made it, which I thought Frank told me we're going to go at 5:25.
And he immediately steals my dessert.
I got there at 5:23, and the intro had already happened.
Yeah, we started a little early. People were getting there at 4:45, and so I was like, "Oh, people are coming early." I was expecting people to come late, and
I
so
thought that
everyone
too.
was there by like 5:10. I was like, "Okay, let's wait till 5:15." I didn't want to wait too long.
So I got there at 5:22, which I thought was 3 minutes early because I thought it was like we're getting up at 5:25. I missed the opening, but I did get to see, which I love how you guys did it. They had like an actual physical board. They were ripping off pieces of tape to ask the questions. It wasn't like an open Q&A, raise your hand. Like they had already prearranged the questions, which were the same ones everyone was going to ask anyways. And it was an absolutely beautiful thing. So it was best of both worlds. Yeah. Got to be there, got to see my son, also got to support my favorite church planter right now.
And you got to steal my dessert.
You said I'm not eating it.
What was the dessert you were going to eat?
He stole my cannoli.
The cannolis were really good.
My wife was very impressed with the tiramisu that I brought home.
Oh, yeah?
It was like in a tray. I don't know if someone picked up like a catering.
Can I tell you where it's from?
Yeah, it was delicious.
Mandola's.
We love Mandolas.
It was delicious.
We eat at Mandolas once a month. Rick says not only is Frank taking half of Lakeview's music team, true story, he's also taking half the stage.
Wow.
Partially true. We just cut the stage in half because we needed to add about 100 chairs. So we did. Happened relatively quickly.
It was a big stage.
It
was
was
a very
1/3 the size of the room.
The stage was too big for the room.
How crazy is that?
Whose idea was that?
The stage now looks like it fits the room.
Yeah.
Look, City Lights, I wasn't going to bring this up. I'm aware the Jaguars played a game yesterday. They're wondering who was telling Tim the score. So if you have an Apple device, and when you have said Apple device, they have Apple Sports. Are you guys aware of Apple
Oh,
Sports?
that new Apple Sports update is fantastic.
Yep.
You subscribe to your favorite team, and it's just a real-time tracker running. So I could glance down, I could see the score.
He got fired up mid-sermon. He was pounding his fist.
As you're well aware, I was never fired up. There was nothing to be fired up about. Every now and then I would tap my phone just to keep an eye on the score. I also had my sound guys in the back updating me. I also gave my son permission to stay home. He misses one Sunday a year for this. This is his one Sunday. He gets to stay home. He knows I'm going to text Dad if something good happens. Unfortunately,
he did not send you any text messages.
I didn't get a lot of text messages from my son because, well, not a lot of good things happened.
Frank, I've got a question. What did the name tags say at the launch party? Ask me about what people just had a subject that they were an expert in on it.
It was like, my name is, then ask me about.
Yeah, like what's
Okay.
something that if I were to ask you this question, you could talk about it for like an hour.
So Stephanie
Gotcha.
said, ask me about 90s teen culture and hip-hop music.
Really? That's what she said? Yeah. Okay.
Like
When I
for
think-
her, late 90s and early 2000s hip-hop was her
I
jam.
didn't-
When I think of
really
hip hop, I
interesting.
think of Stephanie Miller.
I mean, as you should.
Yeah.
That halftime show a few years ago,
Oh, the one in Detroit.
she literally knew every word to every song.
That's really funny.
It was hilarious. I was lost because I grew up a Christian.
Well, I understand. I get it.
Yeah. My thought was, how can we make sure that people are talking to each other and have something to talk about? So the name tags were like a cheat sheet to be like, oh, let me talk to you about anime, because I know Andrew's really into anime.
Andrew's a huge anime guy.
That
Frank,
is-
you intentionally said we're going low tech with this event. I don't want a computer. I don't want slides. I don't want a screen. What was the thought process on a low tech event?
I didn't want to have any tech issues. I didn't want to have to pull a volunteer who could be talking to somebody to be running slides, or for me to deal with the slides. And I also got a really big background that would cover up the projector. So I would rather have the big
I
background.
loved the low tech idea. I thought you could take it a step further and had like a phone collection basket. Hey guys, phones are down. We're talking to each other tonight. Like gone full youth group with it.
I'm glad they didn't, because I was watching the Ohio State game on my
Oh,
phone.
you wouldn't have put your phone in
Yeah.
there. I knew what you were
Yeah.
doing.
That's funny.
You were present.
I was there, though.
You
I
were
was-
present.
You were there.
I
and
was
you ate
there.
my dessert. It was really good.
You were absolutely there. Frank, we haven't talked about this. How did Sunday go? You were not at Lakeview. You were up the road at a very conservative church.
Okay. I was up the road.
How else would you classify that?
I mean, it's definitely it's
Are they an independent fundamentalist Baptist church?
They're a Baptist. I don't know if they're fundamentalist Baptist, but what I do know is this: I had to wear a suit, a jacket.
That's all you need to
It was
say.
encouraged for me to wear.
I
a
think
jacket.
the dress code lets us know what style of church it was.
Either way, it was a really great time. I really enjoyed it. They were very sweet people.
Did you wear a
It's
tie?
It's a pretty large church. I did not wear a tie. I went tieless.
You were
did-
practically naked.
So did Tim for the wedding.
Okay.
Both of you guys are criminally underdressed all the time.
It's not going to happen again.
No. I wore my gray suit, no tie. It was a good time. I got to promote the church plant to all 3 services. I had a little table. It was a great time. I'm pretty sure there was like a guy who is interested. Oh, dude. So I had a guy who's interested in joining the launch team.
Yep.
And so that was good. I had another guy who is a business owner. He owns a local Marco's Pizza, who said, "Hey, my pizza place is right by where you guys are planting. If there's any way we can help you, let me know." And I'm like, "Man,
Launch party
a-
at Marco's Pizza.
a
Can
pizza-
you meet there on Sundays?
a pizza plug is a big deal." So
Listen, if there's a Sunday night service at the pizza place, I'll be there.
Can you tell them to
most
up the
pizza
quality
places-
of their ingredients? Because I know the Marcos used to get the Marcos a lot, and just tell them just needs a little bit of a magic
I don't
touch
think this
there.
is the same Marco. This is in Land Lakes, but
Oh, not the one by Starkey?
not the one by Starkey.
Okay.
No. But this is most pizza places are like carry out only or delivery. Like
Yeah.
there's no like indoor space.
Yeah.
I wish that'd be cool. Imagine
Oh, I'm aware.
Imagine if we had an old school Pizza Hut with,
be awesome.
with a cool roof.
Ooh.
And we
Do
met
you
in
know
there.
that Pizza Hut near us brought back the buffet during the week? On 54. There is a Pizza Hut with a buffet. They
I love
just
me a Pizza
resurrected
Hut
it.
buffet.
And it's the old school
Did
logo.
you
and
know
everything.
that I think it was 2014, 2015, the number one buyer of kale in the world
Is Pizza Hut.
was Pizza Hut, because the garnish that was on their buffet was kale, because people weren't eating kale at the time, but because you can like leave the same kale out for a week on a buffet without it wilting. That should tell you why you shouldn't eat kale, because it's gross. But the number one buyer of kale in the world was Pizza Hut.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Frank, I have a question about something you said at this launch event.
Startup party.
Startup party,
Why
I'm
do you keep
sorry.
using the wrong words?
I'm sorry.
Startup party. He's very specific.
Startup party. Frank, you were talking about communion at Cross and Crown. You're going to take communion every week, and that's one of the ways. It's
One of
gonna
the questions was, how are we
how
going
is
to
it
be
gonna
better than
different?
Lakeview?
Not better, different.
I thought this was better.
It was different, not better. But Frank, will you be serving the same Jesus Lunchable that Lakeview serves for communion? Will you be getting the prepackaged rice wafer and purple water,
Or intinction, baby.
or will you be
Every week.
full on
Full intinction every week.
fingers in
But
people's
only
cups?
Frank can serve it because remember, they're going high church.
Oh, high church, yeah,
Frank will also be in a collar. He made that clear.
nice.
These are all like lies. What I do know is this: there was a certain kind of prepackaged communion that
wasn't
me
gross?
and Tim
Oh, it's so good, dude.
discovered.
Yep.
I think Tim is hoarding it for himself because
Steph brings her own. She still has a stash of that.
that's pretty funny.
It's so good, dude.
I want to look into that distributor because it's not the big one that everyone uses that doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
This is like a very good brand.
The rice wafers are so bad.
Yeah, whatever the one that we found at that conference that Tim and I went to.
Worth it.
I want to
Worth the extra buck.
I want to figure that out, how much it is and whatever it is. I did see, this is so random. I have a friend.
City Lights Church, big fan of communion every week. They can also provide you that liturgy you were looking for too.
Yeah. There's a church planter in Wisconsin who is in a Facebook group with me for church planners, and he talked about where do they source their communion. And he wrote, "I order my communion stuff from Temu." And I'm like, what?
That can't be real. That's not real.
And I wrote immediately, "Give me the link. What are you talking about?
No way.
You're importing your communion from China? Like that's
I'm not buying it.
Did he get like communion trays from Temu? I could see that.
I have no
Maybe.
idea. I have
Maybe.
Have you seen our communion trays? Like they match the wood of the cross and the beams.
I have not
so they're
seen
like
that.
wooden communion
We
trays.
should have an episode where you show and tell the.
We have the nice sterling silver ones that we never use.
We have those still as well.
Yeah.
I actually embezzled them from my previous church because
You did.
they were like
Embezzled them?
Yes, he
well
did.
they were like going to the all up front and they were too heavy because they were the actual like silver ones, and so maybe we should like take those to a pawn shop or something now because they're mine.
They're yours.
So
You're not going to use them here.
You know, we can melt them down, get
Frank
myself
might need 'em.
a nice necklace.
Whether we're talking about intinction or some other kind of way of mode of having communion, that hasn't been determined yet. There's a good chance we'll probably, because of the space and things like that, we'll probably use prepackaged stuff.
Stephanie feels closer to God because she brings her own communion. I get it.
I mean, especially when she brings the gluten-free bread.
Plus, you're not farty afterwards because, you know, if you have a gluten
Is Stephanie gluten-free?
sensitive tummy,
Oh.
They just
sometimes-
gave us those too.
Sometimes that celiac will, and you don't want that happening.
This podcast.
Communion every week is a wonderful thing, but it takes time and effort.
Well, you heard what I said.
Yeah.
I know there's
City Light says loaf of bread, wine, water, 2 cups. Doesn't get any better than that. I mean,
my last church in Milwaukee, they literally got like white bread and they cut it up into chunks, and then they have a cup of it was juice, not wine.
We
but
have
they have intinction.
But here, I think intinction is so disgusting. Just for the record, because everybody's hands are touching it, and that's nasty. But
yeah.
also,
but for the sake of tradition.
But what tradition? As I will tell everyone who argues for intinction, the only person dipping at that table with Jesus was Judas.
I'm with you.
I don't know.
I'm with you. I'm not a fan of intinction either.
I think after COVID, intinction kind of swarmed me out. I do think there's something beautiful about the mode of doing all that. Again, I'm not.
But
saying
again,
that,
like if we're taking the order
Also,
and meaning of the Lord's Supper, after supper he took the cup.
do you think
so they
everyone
ate the
here
bread.
knows what intinction is?
Intinction is when you dip the bread.
It's just rip it and dip it. That's it. That's all you got to know.
Rip it and dip it.
That is
Sounds
the-
like a
that is
When
the
you guys
mode
were,
of communion.
We're trying to use like the long breadsticks to dip.
During like COVID, we're trying to
What
figure it
if
out.
we give everybody? You know, those like they sell.
They were very crispy.
I think they sell this on Temu. Those chopsticks that you use for Cheetos to not get your hand dirty. Use
Yeah.
that for communion. Everyone has their own little chopstick.
So we'll dip it, but then we'll throw up the soggy. Yeah.
Laura says, when I was a kid, our church changed from glass communion cups, that's crazy, to plastic. And the first Sunday they used them, they were so lightweight by comparison.
Oh my
a guy
gosh,
in front of us almost threw the whole tray in the air. I could see that.
That's really funny.
But
Because you used to
I
pass the tray,
yeah.
you grabbed your cup.
Yeah,
That's what we did.
I remember the glass little cups. And it was like, you've got like 50 shot glasses essentially in those trays. That's heavy.
Now, I mean, I did see a church that
Yes,
had,
CJ, he did. Frank got introduced just like the pastor in 4 Christmases during the quote-unquote startup party.
Yes. Who's Dwight
I
Yoakam?
don't know that reference. What's the?
4 Christmases with Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon. You need to come over to my house.
I'm a Christian.
we-
I don't watch
He
Vince
will
Vaughn
watch
movies.
every Marvel movie, but
we
no,
watch
will not watch
4
4
Christmases every year. We love it.
I-
It's fantastic.
I did see a church that had, you know how like I'm
Tim
sure
McGraw,
all of us had
Christian Tenware.
We're in a church where we passed the plate of like the little wafer and then
Yeah.
the little cup. I did see a church that
We
had.
refer to those wafers as Jesus.
Oh my goodness!
I thought it was
Jesus.
a Jesus chiclet.
It's the size of a chiclet, but you call it a Jesus.
Or a Jesus Lunchable.
The
no, that's what you guys have.
They have the pre like chopped up like real bread, but they're also in a cup. So there's a little tray of cups of bread.
That's what we do.
And you just grab one of the breads and one of the. Anyway.
Because we want everyone to be served communion, and so we have one station here, Frank, like right by where your backpack is, because we have people that sit outside, and then people in the back of the room will go there, and then on either aisle we have one of the tables, and we have one tray, and the bread is in the cup, and that's post-COVID.
Can you ask City Lights how
so that you're not touching somebody else's bread?
the pastor is the one that dips the bread and then hands it? Are you putting it in their mouths?
He says we dip it and hand it to the crowd. Frank, if you're going high church, you need to understand this is how you have to do it now. This is your only
You
option.
say high church. I've said this before. We're sprinkling liturgy. We're just not sprinkling babies.
Liturgical and high church are not necessarily the
Yeah.
same.
CJ, your couple should start their own business.
There will be no bishop.
Because this is how we got hold of the amazing tasting communion supplies. He says we have a couple in our church that are both chefs. Good Friday, they make unleavened wafers that taste amazing. You could do this.
Listen,
that sounds glorious.
I've got a buddy who worships in. There was an Anglican. It's an Episcopal church in Dallas. It's like one of the very conservative Episcopal churches in Dallas, and he is a Eucharistic secretary or something as his role.
It's a big deal. Don't touch the altar.
Well, no, but once the wine has been blessed, it has to be consumed.
Yes.
And so if you have,
otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah. If you have,
Frank will get this soon.
Lower attendance.
I know this part.
If you have lower attendance that day,
you're gonna get drunk.
You've got, and so
it's got to get consumed.
So his job is to drink the rest of the communion wine, and he says it's the greatest.
Frank will have a volunteer doing that.
It's the greatest volunteer role in any church he's ever been a part of. So
wow,
good for him.
I love everything about it.
Frank, that was like one of the things that stood out about the meeting is just knowing what goes into communion. There's the cop-out easy way, which is the prepackaged gross stuff.
Yep.
Or there's the way
to him for it?
Because they do the cop-out gross stuff.
I think a lot of churches do that. But go ahead.
But we have people that we get a loaf of not Wonder Bread, like of bakery bread that's cut up and stuff, and then put into the things, and then we have like the little thing that's like a kind of like a syringe looking thing so that you can fill up the little cups, and it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, I've seen the ones where it's like you have all the cups in the tray, and then you put this thing on top of it, and then you pour it, and it's just like, and it fills it all. Those are pretty sweet. They also
those are awesome.
When was the last time you Googled to try to buy communion supply? It's like impossible to find this stuff.
That's why I embezzled the trays from my last church. They were again moving away from passing trays, and I had looked it up because when I got here they were intinction only. I'm like, no, that's gross. I don't want to do intinction, and so I had brought the trays, and they're like, no, we like intinction. Then COVID happened. I was like, how much do you like intinction now?
You talked about how there's no history about backing for intinction. The one issue for intinction is that it solves the idea of the common cup without people drinking out of a common cup.
It does.
City Light says we hand it to them. They place their hands out to receive it. Unless, CJ, you bring up a good point. They will be doing this at Cross and Crown. If you're not a member, but you don't want to be embarrassed, you come forward, you make the Wakanda Forever sign, and you get blessed. Frank will do the blessing.
Here's the thing.
And you head back to your seat.
Wakanda Forever.
Here's the thing about Frank. Frank knows about making an X, but that's more from like a WWF or WWE thing. And so Frank will think that they're doing like a degeneration X.
Stop! What are we doing?
You can also, did you know this? You can consecrate a spot of land and dump the wine and bread there.
Oh, thank goodness.
Jesus will be fine with that.
They
asked him. He's good.
You know.
So many different ways to do communion.
There are so many different ways. As long as it's not milk and Oreos, I'm okay.
Andrew, I heard your sermon went a tad bit long.
It went
yesterday.
a bit long. I know yours did as well. I was pulling up my manuscript.
What was your word count?
My word count.
We know how long a sermon is going to be based on word count.
My word
Frank
count was
is page
not
count.
that long. I was 3365.
That's normal.
No, really 2,700 words is 30
with
minutes.
Scripture, look how much text
I had
you have.
I had a lot of scripture in there, but I had two different not in my notes rants. And they didn't feel long.
I did
rants.
rants.
I think we started a bit late, and so I was wrapping up my sermon. I'm usually trying to be done at about 10:57 ish.
Yeah.
So that we'll be, between closing song, benediction, and whatnot.
Yeah.
We'll be out by 11:05. I think I was wrapping up at about 11:07.
Yeah. Yeah. We my manuscript was about 5,000 words.
That's too many words.
Too many words. That's too many words.
See, like mine was 4,000, and I edited down to the 33.
I might have got down to 4,800, but it still wasn't enough. I tried to do something that I love to do with New Testament passages that might not work as well with Old Testament passages. I actually like speaking in between every verse or every other verse just to give a quick tidbit or a little nugget. But when you have 17 verses, like that, those like 2 or 3 nuggets between every verse become too much. But there was just so much in
I think
there.
that's what caught me yesterday.
I don't know. When you're doing a familiar story in a familiar passage in a very familiar book of the Bible, if there is something that stands out to me when I'm doing prep, I'm like, oh, I forgot about that, or I actually didn't realize that's what that phrase meant. I'll throw it in there because I know we have a lot of seasoned believers who've heard this before, and if there's something that's like relatively,
Hang on. Brian
wrong,
Lucas
just
says
different.
his sermon ran 55 minutes yesterday. That makes me
55?
feel so much better.
Okay,
that was our whole service.
Is this Driscoll? Like
That's
55 minutes.
but for
We wouldn't even be able to get the parking lot cleared. Like,
for me, if I go over a few minutes, the Sunday school teacher might throw something at me, and something might be lukewarm in the fellowship hall for food afterwards. You have another service coming in, so when you were long after first service,
So 8, it was 9:10 when I gave the benediction.
okay,
We do need
and
about
9:30 is the second service.
we need about 30 minutes to get the parking lot clear for the next crew to come in. So only having 20 minutes was tight on the parking team, and it was a high attended Sunday. We've had a couple of those in a row now.
Did you take a paragraph or two out between services?
So for the next service, I trimmed the opening and was able to get it down about to where I would say it was still too long, but it wasn't uncomfortably long.
I don't know what your format is. I use like our 5-point outline that
Yep.
you and I had worked on for forever. I still work in that, but I have an intro each week. So I do. I think of it like a sitcom. So I have intro, is cold open, then prayer, and then I get into the sermon itself. But as we're 12 weeks into a series, and you know that someone is new this week or someone hasn't been there for a couple weeks, so you want to get people caught up.
Yep, especially if you're doing Old Testament narrative and you're in the middle of a story and you just jump into it, are you assuming that they've already watched episodes 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah,
Like there was no recap.
Yeah.
So like it drives me crazy when it's just like, and boom, you're in the text. I'm like, whoa,
Previously on Lost.
I need a 30-second previously on like get me caught up. So I build that into every sermon.
My mind just exploded with all of the different AI sermon editing video things that we get each and every week, like email to us, like, hey, we could do this for you for $1,000 a month.
Nonstop.
What if instead of, hey, we're going to give you, recap videos for your Reels or for your TikTok or whatever, what if we got a, high definition, 16 by 9, 1 minute recap of last week's sermon? So that instead of a bumper video of,
Not a bad idea. Like you do the previously on, but it's a video.
previously on Lost, only it is not Jack in a cage.
So a church did this.
That
a
was
few years
season
ago.
3 of Lost, by the way. It's a weird season.
They were going through the Ten Commandments, and they did a version of that each week for the series. It was very, very cool, very well done. They also did it for the book of Esther too.
Okay.
Every bumper video was different because each bumper told a little bit more of the story, and it got you right up to the text that you were preaching that Sunday. So it can be done, but I'm wondering if AI could.
I would
be
say
a
I would
huge
need.
help here.
I couldn't.
These
edit
were
that.
full animated bumper videos that were like 20 of them done, and each one built on the previous one. To where by the end of this sermon series, it's like 10 minutes long,
Yeah.
but it's still it gets you all caught
The
up.
sermon itself is 12 minutes because the bumper video is like, hey, here's where we've been. And
But
where
if
we're
you are
going.
preaching narrative, you are preaching a story.
Yeah.
And if you're jumping into the middle of it and people have no idea where you're at, it's just like, oh, okay,
what's happening here?
Yeah.
And again, we have one service, so we have Sunday school teachers that we have. Yeah, the video was on in the nursery, or you could have gone back and watched last week, but somebody's coming in cold every week.
Yeah.
So
Well, I had Frank send me his manuscript. I did drop the manuscript into AI, and I just said I need a good, quick, 1 paragraph summary with his main key points, so that way I could boil it down. And
do you
did a great
summarize
job.
before prayer? Do you, hey, I'm Pastor Tim, let's pray, and then you summarize?
We'll typically pray and then jump into it.
Okay.
Like Sunday, we had Operation Christmas Child. We had a missions moment with
Mm-hmm.
a missions partner, OCC. I prayed over them, and then we jumped into the sermon. So we didn't have like an official prayer before, or after the text reading.
There you go.
So that was the flow. But what I tried to do, which I might not be able to do every time, was kind of a New Testament style where I was breaking it down every other verse. Like you could also preach you could read the whole text and then preach.
Yeah.
But like I get lost.
That's what Frank is going to
forget.
do in the liturgy of Cross and Crown. He's going to read the whole text, and then he's going to preach with just exegesis without the text being read in there. Yes?
I think the benefit of reading the text ahead of time is you don't have to reference it in the sermon as much. Can I ask a random question?
But I forget.
Yeah, I get it. Can I ask you a question that has nothing to do with
We read like 2 or 3 like the key point verses
yeah.
at the beginning of the sermon.
Yeah.
And then, but like yesterday we were in John 6:22 to 51. So we had a 30-verse passage. So
Go ahead, Frank. Then I've got a question for you guys. 'Cause I've been wrestling with something. lately.
Let me preface this. I love Operation Christmas Child. Not against it. My question is.
Oh,
not
I love
like
it. You
indictment
won't
towards
convince me otherwise. I
it.
absolutely
No.
love
My question about this is Operation Christmas Child always feels like supposed to feel like Christmas, like Christmassy.
Yeah.
But we're doing it like before Halloween. Does that feel weird to you? I know why we have
they
to
have
do
to
that.
get shipped all over the world, Frank.
I guess because we've
Yeah,
been
I
doing it
know.
for 12 years, this is the week we do it every year.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm
Like, it
not
doesn't-
criticizing it. I think as a culture, like
We're
as,
doing ours next week.
as churches do it, all over. I'm always wondering, like, how do you get in the Christmas mood the week before Halloween? It's just fun.
Listen,
So
I
we
am
have people posting about
always
OCC
in a
all throughout
Christmas
the year.
mood.
Melissa's wondering when you're dropping off boxes. Melissa, it's going to be mid-November.
I was saying this was one of the conversations that we had in
Yep.
the fellowship hall yesterday. Is
Yep.
hey,
I have the
we-
date. It's
you
not
know,
on my head right now, but
we
it's
need
mid-November.
because we drop off to Lakeview because we want our numbers to count towards their numbers because we
Well,
love
Lakeview
them.
is a bit like a
we are
local.
a regional drop-off
Yes.
site. Yep,
We
absolutely.
have several closer to us, but we want our numbers to count towards Lakeview's
Smart.
numbers.
So, sermon question for you guys. I've been thinking back on the sermons that I remember the most, and I'm having a hard time remembering the sermon, but I can remember a personal story.
Okay.
So, like, I know a few months ago, Frank talked about buying chicken tenders on his way home. Here's what I don't know: the text, the sermon series, the title, the topic, or any application. The only thing I remember is Frank purchased chicken tenders. So here's what I've been wrestling with, because then I was like thinking about some of my own sermons, and I was like, wow, I can remember stories, but I don't remember any content whatsoever. So I have been intentionally, and my wife noticed it, I have been intentionally leaving out personal stories. I had an elder come to me and say, hey, I was doing some research. What do you think about this? And I was like, interesting. He's like, I wonder if, like, will you remember more or less of the text, application, anything in the sermon if you have fewer personal stories? Because for whatever reason, there's something about a personal story that just stands out to someone, and it's like, that's the take home, when in reality, I don't know that really matters.
I think
all
it
that much.
depends when you include the personal story.
I'm not against them. I still love sharing a good story. I'm just trying to figure out, like, what's the balance. And even as, like, I think back to my own youth pastor when I was in youth ministry,
You remember his stories more so than
I don't remember a single sermon. I remember one that was preached in the Holy Spirit. I can't think back to anything
I remember my youth
specific.
pastor brought a toilet into the youth room.
Okay, yep,
And I have no idea what it was, but I remember the illustration of the toilet.
that's it.
And I think he broke a light bulb at one point. I not with the toilet. This is a different sermon, but I have no answer for you.
I have an answer.
Yeah.
I think in youth ministry, it's a little different, because in youth ministry, I think the big thing that you're trying to push is to years later, they're not going to remember any sermon, but they're going to remember how they felt when they were in your youth ministry.
Possibly,
So then,
yeah.
in college or whenever, when they start thinking about their faith, they remember the good emotions and feelings and times they had in student ministry, and that will bring them to faith or bring
I
them
mean,
back.
I hope they're remembering some. Like,
I hope they remember
there's,
something.
There's doctrine that I hold to very dearly that I don't know when I learned that doctrine.
Yeah,
but
that's
I
true.
know that I learned that doctrine.
At some point, I learned it. Yeah.
But there's a good chance that, like, there's a mixture of things that you
Oh,
you got
absolutely.
the idea. You probably don't remember the sermon, the day, or whatever.
No.
But you also remember the feelings you had in student ministry
Mm-hmm.
that probably all kind of tie that together, and that's why, your thoughts on your faith when you were a youth feel the way they feel then. As far as your sermon goes, I mean, I guess you make an argument Jesus didn't use personal stories, but he did use illustrations.
Yeah, I'm not against illustration. I'm talking about, like, actual personal story. I think a personal story stands out possibly more than an illustration, because, like, I don't know, it clicks
I
better.
do think
Yeah, I don't know that Jesus
case in
ever
point,
used a
it's like
personal story.
when we look at, like,
But he did sit down.
when we look at props, pastors of props or whatever,
Yeah.
I do
Oh,
think
man.
that pastors need to do a better job of making sure that their illustrations don't distract from their point.
Yeah.
Because I do think sometimes pastors will have a really good
Like the chicken
illustration
tenders did?
or a really good point, and then be like, I don't like the illustration of the point was so funny or so good that
Yeah.
it kind of overdid it from everything else. And I would say maybe I could be critiqued for that.
Or preaching behind a shower curtain and claiming that God's a better seeker than you are hider.
So weird.
And you preach your whole sermon behind a shower curtain.
The intro illustration thing is always the last thing that I do. So like
Yeah.
I do the work of exegesis and,
Sure.
and all that stuff first, and then if there is an illustration from my life, sure, I can put that in, and if not, I'll find another way to do an intro. But I mean, Jesus used a lot of illustrations.
I'm all for illustrations.
I mean, the bread that we were just discussing is an illustration.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Every
I've got
time,
nothing against it.
Every time you take communion, you are eating an object lesson.
Literally.
So,
And figuratively. But only
and
literally.
Some would
but
say
also
Some would
but-
say only
but-
literally.
but also spiritually.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
but also emotionally. I'm just kidding. Just adding words. Anyways.
All right, so Frank, you are speaking this week, but not at a main service on a Sunday. You're stepping back into youth ministry, aren't you?
Jeff Gore says, "Hard to remember a sermon if it doesn't have enough props." Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm speaking at a local church's youth group,
I love it.
Building 28.
Are you going to be recruiting students to Cross and Crown
I'm going to
Church?
take the whole youth group to come with me.
This would be a very long drive for them.
Yeah, it's like 45
Hey
minutes.
kids, do you want to move so that you can go to Pasco Hernando Community College?
Pascal.
I'm like St. Leo is kind of close to
It's
where
not
you're
far.
going to be.
It's not far.
So there's other schools up there, but I'm just saying it's
Yeah. I am excited about teaching these students. And then
I love it.
What's cool is this youth group does books of the Bible. So I'm in this series. We're in Ephesians. It's gonna be a good time. Then the following week, I'm teaching at Trinity College's Spiritual Enrichment Week.
Ooh, let's go.
So I get to
Trinity
speak 3
College
times.
of Florida, not to be confused
Wow.
with Trinity College Jacksonville.
There's
Two different
three.
things.
There's 3 famous people who graduated.
One's
from
actually
going
going to survive, one won't. Keep going.
There's 3 famous people from Trinity College of Florida. That's not true. Number
Didn't say
one,
which one.
They'll both close eventually.
Exactly.
Billy Graham graduated from Trinity College of Florida. The Christian rapper KB graduated from Trinity College of Florida.
He did.
And Frank Gill graduated from Trinity College of Florida.
Very, very famous.
Yeah. So it's a good time.
Steph says it's also different when you have teenagers. They don't like personal stories. Agreed. As a dad of teenagers, they absolutely
Do they not
cringe.
like personal stories of them? Or
Yes, they have all specifically said, Dad, no, I don't want to be in a sermon ever, and I respect that.
I respect that.
Andrew doesn't care. His kids get thrown in there every week. No, they don't.
Sometimes they get. Here's the thing. My thing about personal stories is if there is a villain or if there is an idiot in a story.
Oh, that's me.
It is always me.
For sure. I don't wanna be the hero. I do
my
not wanna be the
kids
hero.
are never the butt of a joke
Nope.
that I tell.
Definitely
If
not.
my kids are in a sermon, it's because I'm learning something from them
Yeah.
or they did something right.
That's a good
If
point.
there's an idiot in the story, it is me.
I think in general, the
Yeah.
idiot of whoever.
Yes.
I think if you're using a illustration of you and your wife.
Yeah.
You better be.
I am always the villain.
Yes. Good
Yeah.
point.
I think you never want to make yourself the hero or the victim when you are
Correct.
using a personal story. If you
Ooh.
are
That'll preach, Andy.
if you're the hero or the victim, yikes. But if you are the
Have you-
bully or the what's the opposite of victim or what's
man.
the opposite of hero? I don't know. If you are the villain or the I don't know,
Perpetrator?
or the perpetrator, or if you're the villain or the
You
bully
can be
or
the butt
whatever.
of the joke.
Yes, be the butt of the joke, be the bad guy, be the oh crap, I was wrong.
But guys, you know what I'm a victim of?
Not eating.
Hunger. I am hungry.
It's almost like we've been
Frank's
sitting here
hungry.
for
We're
3
ready to eat
hours
some more.
talking into microphones.
But Andrew, I need to know, have you ever heard a pastor make himself the victim?
yes.
I have to.
And
Okay.
it's not. And again,
It's not a good look.
Not just because I re-listened to all of the Rise and Fall this past week,
It's not a good look.
but I had a younger pastor ask me to critique a sermon of his once.
Yeah.
And the first thing I said was, "Hey, I love you, but the woe is me in the pulpit is never going to fly.
No.
It never goes well.
That's good.
So be the bumbling idiot who had a moment of clarity. I was getting that wrong. Never be the one of, you people are getting it wrong. Look at me.
What's wrong with you people?
As
Yeah,
you guys
don't do
know,
that.
victims or hero stories are only for Instagram. Thank you for that, Jeff. And go be a bumbling idiot to all you pastors out there.
Hey,
You heard Andrew's advice.
we're going to go get some lunch.
We're hungry.
It's going to be so delicious. I don't know where. My wife went to Athens this morning. Because the
Antagonist
place-
is the word you were looking for.
Thank you. The place that she was
CJ.
trying to go to, they were pressure washing and it was outside, so they went to Athens. She said it was just okay. I don't know if that, will impact what you guys want.
It's early. I'm
She
open.
also
You
had
guys
pumpkin
pick.
Hey,
pancakes.
you guys want
so-
some wings?
Free
Frank
Monday.
always wants wings.
Trying here, Frankie.
Listen, we might go to Poblano's. We might go to Lenny's. I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
We hope y'all come and join us. It'll be great.
We miss you
That's-
so much.
Stephanie Miller.
We're signing off on that. I'm not reading that out loud. Love you guys. We'll see you next week.